And I'm joined now by Jonathan Paton of the 1st Congressional District. His website, www.paton2012.com, paton2012.com. Jonathan Paton, welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show. Great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us how the race fares right now.
We're winning. Not by a lot, but we are ahead just slightly. We have been hitting it really hard. I mean, you know how big this district is. You've seen it. And we've been traveling pretty much across a district that's the size of the state of Pennsylvania, a little bit larger. And we've been hearing from voters. They're all upset about what's been going on with the president. We've been hearing about everything from the EPA to Benghazi, and they want a change. And they want a new member of Congress in this next election, and they don't want it to be Ann Kirkpatrick. So we're working hard to make sure that we win.
I want to strike a couple of chords here. One, you're right about the district. When I campaigned with you, and we drove to Prescott, and then we drove to Sedona, and I don't think we touched like a third of the district. Tell people who are driving through Arizona or listening so they can call their friends, what does the 1st District include?
If you go on the outskirts of Tucson, that's the southern edge of the district, and it goes all the way up eastern Arizona, all the way to Utah. And we have everything from the Grand Canyon to the New Mexico border is in this district.
Wow.
So it's almost all of eastern Arizona is in it. We have 11 counties. We've got Flagstaff. We've got the Grand Canyon. We've got the Navajo Nation. It goes kind of around Phoenix. Basically, if you're driving on I-10 from Phoenix to Tucson, that's pretty much going through my district. If you're on I-17 from Phoenix to Flagstaff, that's in the district. And if you're going through some of the most beautiful places in Arizona, Sedona, Monument Valley, all those areas are all in Congressional District.
That's where it is. Now let's tell them about you, because I want people to know you're a combat veteran of Iraq. You are an experienced state legislator, and you're committed to change in Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, Ann Kirkpatrick is a retread. She's a liberal. She's a Nancy Pelosi supporter, and Pelosi's been in the district to try and fund her. And interestingly enough, though, you got the endorsement of the Arizona Republic, though they hardly ever endorse Republicans.
Absolutely. We even got the endorsement of the Arizona Daily Star, which some people call the Red Star, mainly because they just don't feel like that she's really in touch with people in Arizona. I mean, she walked out on her own town hall. She had a town hall in 2009 on health care, and she wouldn't answer people's questions, so she finally just walked out and got in a car with California plates and took off. And people don't like that here, and I think even the editorial board recognized they'd rather have somebody that they don't even necessarily agree with than someone who isn't going to answer questions. And that's, I've faced a lot of things in my life. I faced some time in combat, and I've never dodged a question, and I've never walked out on anyone. So we've got the experience. She has the experience of basically voting for Obamacare, the stimulus, and everything else Nancy Pelosi threw her way. So we think that the district wants a check and a balance. I served in the United States Army. I enlisted in 1999. I was a private, worked my way up to sergeant, and got my commission as an officer in 2003. I'm a captain now and an intelligence officer. Served in the state legislature, the state house for 4 years, the state senate for 2 years. Was a judiciary chairman of our state, worked on trying to get conservative judges on the bench in our state. And I'm really raring to go and win this race.
When we were there, you were also talking about Fast and Furious. You know that issue backwards and forwards. You know the rights. You know the problems with the border as well. It's sort of like you're the perfect candidate for Arizona. How in the world did the liberal run against you?
They try to trash me personally. I mean, if that's the only thing that they can do, there has not been one ad that they've run on an actual issue in Arizona in this race. They have refused to actually engage me on health care, on spending, on any of that. It's always been trying to attack me personally, but they found that it's hard to attack an officer in the United States Army. so they've been making things up, but that's about the best they can do.
Are you matching them dollar for dollar? And once again, the website is Paton, Paton 2012.com, www.paton2012.com. Jonathan, are you able to match them?
We are, through the help of the NRCC and your listeners and others, we are pretty much going toe-to-toe with them on the air, and they're outspending me a little bit, but we are ahead, and we are, every little bit we get in this last week, we're putting on to television and radio, and we're on track to win.
Now, what I find amazing is that they tried to screw the Republicans in Arizona by manipulating the quote-unquote independent redistricting commission. It ain't working out for them, is it, Jonathan Paton?
No, it's not. They specifically created this district for Ann Kirkpatrick, and unfortunately they never talked to the people in the district because there was a reason why they threw her out in the first place, and she hasn't changed. When asked, one of the things the editorial board asked her is why should people hire her again who voted against her last time, and she couldn't answer that question. She couldn't answer why she was somehow different. She's still the same person she was 2 years ago, only now she's got the even more support from Nancy Pelosi.
Jonathan Paton, good luck in the closing sprint over in Arizona's first congressional district. One more time, his website is www.paton2012, Paton 2012. There's no Y in it, okay? It's Paton. Don't get left behind. Don't get confused. Go over and help him out, and make sure you tell everyone anywhere in Arizona to go find out about Jonathan Paton. Send him to Congress. When we come back,